My wife hates our son for being gay and wants to send him to a special camp to fix his mental illness. Posted by you/StunningMud9227. So, this is a pretty heavy situation, and I'm really confused and disgusted, to be honest, because I never thought my wife was like this. My wife, 44F, and I, 45M, have been married for 14 years. We have 2 kids, a 16-year-old son, let's call him Noah, and a 12-year-old daughter. We've had our fair share of disagreements over the years, of course, but things have generally been smooth between us. Now for the context, Noah came out as gay about a year ago. It was a surprise, and as hard as it was to accept, I love my kids more than anything and just want their happiness. My wife visibly didn't take it well, though. She was upset and seemed to go through a grieving period where she didn't really talk about it. I tried to support Noah in every way I could, telling him that I loved him no matter what, etc. My wife, though, I could tell she wasn't on the same page. She would say things like, "This is just a phase," or, "He needs help," but I brushed it off as her needing time. Fast forward to last week, and we were having a conversation about Noah's future. Out of nowhere, my wife casually mentions that she's been looking into conversion therapy camps and thinks it might be the right solution. She said that Noah isn't truly gay, that he just hasn't been shown the right path, and that this could fix him. My blood ran cold. Obviously, I was in shock. I immediately told her I didn't agree and that this was not something I could support. She got upset and said I was enabling Noah's confusion and that if I really cared about him, I would help him get better. What the F is wrong with her? She was persistent, and no matter how much I tried to explain that conversion therapy is harmful, like, I know those kids get abused, raped, and often end up either traumatized or unaliving themselves, and that I would never send our son to something like that, she wouldn't back down. If I'm being 100% honest, I don't even think I love her anymore. The fact that she could be so heartless disgusts me. I know being gay is not easy, and people like her just make it even harder. I'm considering staying only for our daughter's sake, but would it be okay if it means hurting my son? It feels like a betrayal to Noah. I just don't think I can keep living with someone who thinks this is okay. Relevant comments. Commenter. Please do not send your son to conversion therapy because of your wife's heartlessness. Ops response. You don't have to worry about this, I will not do this. I love my son just the way he is. I don't even know how to tell him that his mom wants to do that. The kids have noticed the tension between us, but I haven't said anything yet. Commenter 2. You need to divorce her ASAP. Your wife is setting your son up for a lifetime of abuse. Ops response. I mean, yeah, of course I want to divorce her, but I know how damn close my daughter is to her mother. However, I know that at the moment, I need to focus on Noah, and hopefully, my daughter will be wise enough to understand. Commenter 3. Staying for your daughter's sake? WTF? What about your son? Divorce her and get full custody immediately, of both kids. Tell the judge you fear crazy pants will turn your daughter against your son and raise her to be a bigot like her. Also, if you get any of her nonsense in writing, like in a text, save it. Don't tell her you're going to use it in court. Conversion camps should be illegal, it's so disgusting. Ops response. You're absolutely right. I'll start looking for a good lawyer and cut her out of our lives as soon as possible. Update 2 days later. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone here for all the help and advice I've received under my post and in DMs. Sorry if I couldn't respond to everyone, there were just too many people. I posted something about my wife wanting to send my son to a conversion camp 2 days ago. Some of you suggested showing her videos and documentaries about what happens there, but this argument has been ongoing for more than a week now. I've shown her things, and she still won't budge. This is a really bad update, if I'm being honest, so let's get into it. All of you told me to try to get him out ASAP. You were definitely right, so yesterday I took the day off and went to see an attorney just to get some info about divorce, etc. But after what happened, I'm 100% sure I want a divorce ASAP. Yesterday, I went to pick Noah up from school, and as many of you suggested, we had a long discussion. I basically told him his mom and I might be getting a divorce because she wants to send him to a conversion camp, and I can't accept that. I told him I've talked with her many times and will probably go through with it. He looked really hurt, my heart broke all over again, but was very understanding and thanked me for standing up for him. I pulled him into a tight hug and told him I'll always love him no matter what and that none of this is his fault. At that moment, he started crying because he was so glad at least I was on his side. I'm very pissed right now, so sorry if I'm not making sense, but apparently, his mom had been pressuring him for months. She planned dates with girls to try and fix him, and he had to lie, saying he was going to a friend's instead. She kept saying he needed help and that, as much as she loves him, he needs to get his condition cured. I feel so bad because I was oblivious to all of this, and I failed to protect him all that time. How do you make your 16-year-old son go through that? When we got home yesterday, I won't lie, I was furious and confronted her right then and there. At first, she tried to explain that she was doing it for him, but her speech quickly turned to slurs, and it was clear she was just ashamed of having a gay son. In the end, I told her I had seen an attorney and that learning all this just confirmed that I want a divorce. She got really angry, calling me a delusional disgrace. We argued a lot, and at some point, Noah tried to separate us, but my wife punched him multiple times. She was saying disgusting things like he's a dirty F word and that it's all his fault we're getting divorced because his filth corrupted me. My daughter, who was probably in her room, came to see what all the commotion was about and was rightfully horrified. She quickly called 911 when I told her to. Long story short, the cops got there and took her away. She was very reluctant to go because she thought she was not in the wrong and insisted they should let her go. I explained everything to my daughter, and she doesn't want anything to do with her mom anymore. Right now, I'm in the hospital because my soon-to-be ex-wife broke my rib while I was restraining her. I probably should have come as soon as the cops took her, but I didn't care. My son was crying, with a black eye and split lip. They're checking for any concussion, and obviously, the only thing I cared about was comforting him. I can't even imagine what it feels like to be beaten by your mom for being gay. I'm planning to file for full custody, of course, and my kids don't want to see her ever again anyway. Given all the charges she's facing, I hope she doesn't stand a chance against me. I just sent an email to my attorney and hope the process moves quickly. I've also considered getting CPS involved, but I'm not sure if they'll really help. I just can't understand how someone can grow so resentful of their own kid over something they can't control. Even I had pretty strong opinions about it at first, but as a father, it's my role to unconditionally love my kids. So, I educated myself on the topic and changed my perspective for him. It took some time to fully grasp it, but I never doubted for a second the love I have for my child. I thought it was the same for my wife. Apparently not. Relevant comments. Commenter. Looks like she reaped what she sowed. And while she was at it, she tacked on some lifelong no contact from both kids. Stellar mothering right there. I'm sorry you all had to experience this side of her. Why do you suppose, after so many years together, you're just seeing this part of her now? Could she be experiencing cognitive issues that weren't present before? Ops response. I just think we never really discussed the topic of LGBT+ people, so I had no idea she could have been so cruel. Commenter 2. Can you pack up your wife's stuff and give it to her, along with a restraining order? Good on you for protecting your son and for your daughter calling the police, but there is no way he can safely be around her ever again. Ops response. We've got a house that is under both our names, and we didn't have a prenup. People have been telling me to change the locks and throw her stuff out, but I just don't know if I can do that. If I can't, I'll either go back to my parents with the kids or rent an apartment in the meantime. Second update 2 weeks later. So, a little over 2 weeks ago, I posted about my soon-to-be ex-wife putting both my son and me in the hospital because he is gay. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for the support and advice we've received. The kind words were overwhelming. To all the trolls saying this is fake, God knows I wish it was. Maybe I didn't make much sense because I was extremely shaken, so I apologize if that was the case. Now, for the update. It's been difficult ever since, but don't worry, this is not a bad update. First of all, I was able to get an emergency custody order. I'm very relieved because many of you warned me about how people can have their kids forcefully taken to those conversion camps, and I'm relieved that she can't do that anymore. I'm still overly anxious and only leave my son alone when he's at school. I've instructed all the teachers to make sure no one but me approaches him. Thank God my boss has been understanding about the matter. I've been granted exclusive use of our house as well, so I've changed the locks and installed security cameras. Many friends and family members, from my side, of course, have been visiting often to give us both emotional support and ensure our safety. Many of you also advised me to document every injury that my son and I sustained. Fortunately, my son didn't suffer a concussion, so I took plenty of pictures and gave them to my lawyer. She has also taken my son's, and my daughter's testimonies. Given all the charges my wife is facing, child abuse, both physical and emotional, neglect/endangerment, assault and battery, hate crime, and domestic violence. Yeah, it doesn't look very good for her. Our lawyer is confident that I will 100% be granted full custody. She also said that it's likely my soon-to-be ex's attorney will recommend that she give up her parental rights, given the overwhelming evidence against her. Also, it's very likely that my son and I, possibly even my daughter if she asks for it, will be granted a restraining order against her. My lawyer has told me that CPS involvement will only strengthen my case, as they are thoroughly investigating everything. While we're still waiting to get the court date, I am feeling highly confident and relieved for the first time since all that happened. I've gathered tons of overwhelming evidence against the toxin, thanks to that person who came up with that name. I'll keep everyone updated, and thank you again for all the advice and support my kids and I have received. I honestly don't know how I could have gotten through this without all of you. You all just saved a family. Relevant comments. Commenter. I am so happy for you and your son and daughter that this is turning out in your favor. That being said, I am so sorry that you all had to go through this. I've been following your story since the very first post, and I've commented on almost every post. I just have to say, as the chosen mom of so many queer kids, you're the parent they all wanted, the one who stood by them and stood up for them. So many of them didn't even have a single parent who did that. I am just so proud of you. I'm actually crying while writing this because I'm thinking of all my kids and the ones I call my kids who have no one besides their chosen family to love them unconditionally. Thank you for being what a parent is supposed to be. Thank you for putting your son first. And thank you for accepting him as he is. I hope you are a beacon of acceptance to other parents whose kids will eventually come out. And I hope you're a safe place for any other kids in your area who need a parent figure to come out too. Ops response. I remember your comment on my first update. Thanks so much for the support. I'm not who I used to be, and I'm glad to say I love my son for who he is. Third update 2 months 2 weeks later. Hi everyone, it's been a while. If you don't remember me, I'm the dad who posted about his wife wanting to send our son to a conversion camp, which escalated to her attacking us and sending us to the hospital. It's been a while since the last update, and I'm sorry for keeping all of you hanging like this. I was honestly too focused on protecting my son to think about it. I'm exhausted, so I apologize if I don't make much sense. First of all, the divorce. The divorce isn't finalized yet, as my legal team focused on securing custody and protective orders first. Now that that's settled, the divorce proceedings will be moving forward. About the custody, she gave up all her parental rights to both Noah and my daughter, which means I have full custody of both. Also, Noah and I thankfully got a restraining order against her. However, for some reason, the judge decided my daughter didn't need one since her mother hadn't physically attacked her. My lawyer was fuming. As if her actions weren't self-explanatory. I don't know what that judge was on, but I sure as hell want it. About the sentencing. As I said, the toxin gave up her parental rights and agreed to a plea deal, which is how we saw the judge so fast, which I believe significantly reduced her sentence. She was found guilty of assault and battery, child abuse, emotional distress, a hate crime, and domestic violence. She was eventually sentenced to 1 year and 10 months in jail, but she could be released early for good behavior, as well as 100 hours of community service when she gets out. This is still crazy though, given she literally broke my ribs and beat the hell out of my son. I believe she should be locked up for much longer. We had so much evidence, medical records, testimonies, CPS. At least we'll be away from her for that time. I'm shocked by how fast all this went though. I guess the police don't joke about domestic violence against minors. Now onto my son, my daughter, and me too. I've put the 3 of us in therapy. My daughter quit within a few weeks, saying she didn't need it anymore. However, Noah is still attending, both alone and with me. His mother's behavior left deep scars that, of course, can't be seen but are very much present. And I feel like therapy helps him navigate his own identity and self-acceptance better as well. He begged me to keep this 100% anonymous, which I did, as he is not out yet to most of his friends at school. The few friends who know have been very supportive, though, and there is this boy I think my son likes. Overall, we've gotten so much support, and I couldn't have protected them without all of you. Not only from our friends and family, but mainly from all of you, who gave so much advice and so many reassuring words of love and encouragement. Reddit truly is a wonderful place. We've lost people, of course. As I said, I myself was raised to be homophobic, so some people from my side of the family cut us off. But most of them still supported us. We lost my wife, but we don't need that kind of person in our lives. In exchange, we've got all of you, and we wouldn't be here without you. Right now, my kids are playing Mario Kart at our home, and who knows what could have happened instead if I hadn't sought help here. I can never thank you all enough for saving my son. I believe this will be my last update. Surely, I will update if my crazy ex reappears or when my son gets married, but in the meantime, this will be it. Thanks again, so much.